guys, it's SilentSpringGaming here, back with another TDS video. And today we're actually going to be checking out the new update of TDS. So they have added the St. Patrick's Day themed skins that are 5,000 coins and will be available till April the 8th. So it looks like they've brought back the Springtime Slasher and Commander, which are older skins, but these first 6 skins are actually new. But what else do we have here? We have the Springtime Battle Pass and the Hardcore rework coming soon, and this is just a little leak of the new Hardcore enemies, which do look pretty interesting. The status effect of flying enemies are no longer immune to freeze towers by default. And we have our third or fourth set of tower changes. How many tower changes are we gonna have at this point? Every week we seem to get tower changes. But we have all of these, which, yeah, you guys can just read all of these. Some of these are event ones as well, which is cool, I guess. But we will actually be going over the starter towers this episode. So the ones that have rebalanced are actually Scout, Sniper, Demoman, and Soldier. So let's just get right into it. So the first one we actually have is regular Scout. So this does now cost 125 to place, but I do believe originally Scout was a 150 bucks, but they have now changed it to 125 at start off. And at level 1, okay, at level 0 they've actually decreased the fire rate, so it does shoot half a second quicker. No, that's 0.1. We've got 0.1 of a second faster. Sorry guys, I just cannot math right now. But yeah, okay. So let's test this out on a normal enemy, and we'll see how well that goes. Okay, that can take care of it. So the fire rate at level 1 has decreased as well by literally 0.05 of a second. Literally not really much at all. But we will test that on 2 abnormals. But yeah, at the moment it has been slightly buffed. Yeah, I am noticing it is slightly quicker, which isn't too bad. But at level 2 the price has increased by 175. So originally it was 200, but now it's 375. They have also buffed the damage from, it was originally 2 damage, but now it does 3 damage. And the fire rate has decreased from 0.8 to 0.75 still. So yeah, that hasn't changed. And yeah, it still has hidden detection level 2. So I mean, yeah, they have slightly buffed that. The range has stayed the same. But let's try that on a, could go for an armored. Not too sure if it'll be able to defeat it. But while we wait for him to do the damage, level 3 has been buffed as well. Okay, this guy is too strong for it. But as I was saying, level 3 has... It's slightly more expensive now. It went from $950 to now $1,350. So, yeah, that has gotten like $400 more now. But they have buffed the damage from... It was originally at 6 damage, but now has 8 damage. The fire rate went from 0.7 to actually 0.6, so it has gotten quicker. And the range has increased from 14 to 16. So that is a nice change, because originally the fire rate was a lot slower with level 3. But it was actually only 0.1 of a second slower. But let's try that. It does 8 damage, so let's try it on an armored this time, because I know that it will be able to take care of it this time. But yeah, that has took care of it nicely. The only change we have really of max level is that the price has gotten cheaper. It's now at $2,200, but it was originally at $2,500, so it is $300 cheaper, which is quite nice. And the only other thing they have buffed is they have made the fire rate quicker. So it went from 0.35 to now 0.3. So 0.05 of a second. That's alright. But we'll max it out and we'll see if it can take 2 armoreds. And I'm not too sure if it still has a placement limit. I don't believe it does. But if we can just place a couple of these scouts, I would say 8's a good amount. We just place 8 of these, and editor, you can do your job right here now. Okay, so now that they're all maxed, we'll test this on a slightly stronger enemy. We'll test this on... I just don't know how well a boomer would be. The fire rate is pretty quick, but it's not quick enough to defeat a boomer, I don't think. Maybe it is? No, it isn't. Okay. We'll clear the towers of scout, but the scout has been changed quite a bit, so that is the scout complete. Now we have the sniper. The sniper has changed a lot. It now costs $450 to place down. It used to be $300, so it has gotten $150 more expensive. But at level 0s, they have buffed the damage to it. Now does 10 damage. It originally did 4 damage, so that is 6 extra damage. It now does at level 0, which is pretty good. They have changed the fire rate. The fire rate used to be 4 seconds, but now they've increased it by a second, so it now is 5 seconds. And the last thing on level 0 they've changed is it now has slightly less range. It used to have 27.5 range and now has 25 range. So that's 2.5 less range. But that should be alright. We'll does 10 damage. We'll test it on not on abnormal because they're kind of strong. We will test it on abnormal because it will go to one shot. We will test it on a couple of these guys. I don't know how well. Yeah, the 5-second cooldown I'm not too sure about, but the good news is level 1, it does, this isn't good news, but it does get, it used to cost $150. What am I saying? It used to cost $150 to upgrade, but it now costs $200, which, yeah, it's not quite what we were looking for. It is 50 extra bucks, but the good thing here is that they have buffed the damage. It's gone from 6 damage to now 12, which is double. So I mean, yeah, it's a big change, that. But they have changed the fire rate at level 1. It used to be 3.5 seconds, but now only costs 4 seconds. Only. It costs 4 seconds. It's now 4 seconds, so it is half a second slower. Which should be alright, actually. And last but not least, yeah, the range has stayed the same, as in it still had 27.5 range, but it now has 25 range, so it hasn't changed with level 0. But there's level 1, but now that that's done 2 extra damage, yeah, 2, we'll test this on an armored, and we'll see how well that does against it. Which, while that's doing that, because at the moment we are doing the damage it needs to, so while that's doing that, we'll discuss level 2 of sniper. So level 2 of sniper has gotten quite a bit more expensive at the pricing scale. So it originally used to cost 500, but it costs 750 now. So that is a $250 extra. But they have buffed the damage quite a bit. It used to be 12 damage, or it went from 12 to 25 damage. So that is 13 extra damage. But yeah, they have, the fire rate hasn't changed. It is still at 4, but it did originally have 3.5 seconds of fire rate. So yeah, that is a 0.5 more. So it's not too bad. And yeah, the range did go from, it went from 32.5 to now 28. So yeah, that is a slight change, but there we go. There is level 2. It does also have hidden detection as well, so we will test that on a hidden enemy, which, where do we have one? We should have one here somewhere. We do have the Fallen Soul that does 75. Has 75 health, so this is a good showcase. And at the moment, Sniper's not doing too bad of a job. But it has took care of the enemy. But level 3, it's gone, the price went from 1,500 to now 2,250. So that is 750. $750. My bad, guys. But yeah, that is. It went from 1,500 to 2,250, which is 750 extra. But the good thing is the damage has been buffed by quite a little bit, not too much. It used to. So it's gone from 30 damage to 60 damage. So that isn't too bad. But yeah, the fire rate sticks to 4. And the range has gone from 28 to 35. So that isn't too bad. It also has lead detection. So that is nice. And we will test this on 2 armored, because the first one does 1 shot, or it should, but since it has armor it won't 1 shot. But yeah, now that that's took care of the armor nicely. Last but not least, we do have max level, which is level 4. The price has gone from $4,000 to now $4,500. So it is a 500 extra. But the damage has gone from, it used to do 40 damage, but it now does 60 obviously. And it's gone from 60 to 100 damage. So that is a big amount from how much it used to. It used to be horrible doing 40 damage, but the fire rate has increased. It used to have a 2-second fire rate, but it's now gone to 3.5, so that is a 1.5 extra fire rate, which is slower, but it has to do that because the damage has just changed by quite a bit. Last but not least, the range does decrease. The range was originally 45, but it's now 35. But obviously it goes up to 40, so it was actually 45, but now it's at 40 range. But that's max level sniper. That does do some nice damage, but let's actually test to see if it does do good damage or not. Because I mean, that sounds pretty good. It does have lead detection, but I think a couple fallen dregs. Bear in mind they have corpses as well, so let's just spawn. We'll do an elite hazmat actually, because they are quite tough. But yeah, at the moment, sniper is taking care of it very nicely. But the placement limit, I don't believe they have a placement limit. Or if they do, I believe it's around 16. But for the moment, I will place 8. I think that's a good amount, and editor can do his job.
5 hours later.
Okay. Now we have 8 max level snipers. Let's see how far a boomer will get here, because the damage is pretty good. Having 8 of them really does make the damage good. It does 800 damage, so that is a big improvement from when it used to do 40 damage max level. So yeah, I'd say sniper, a great success. Okay, the next one we actually have is Demoman. So Demoman's been buffed, of course, and the fire rate used to be 2.8 and it's now been decreased to 2.4, so that is 0.4 quicker fire rate, so that's quite good. That's at level 0. And then the explosion radius has gone from 4.75 to 5, so that is 0.25. So it has slightly upward the explosion radius. But if we test this on a abnormal, holy, that explosion. Okay, that's good. Level 1, they have also buffed the... So the fire rate has been changed. It originally was 2 seconds, but it's now gone to 1.75. So that has changed quite... Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. No, I'm not. The fire rate went from 2 seconds to now... Well, the fire rate went from 2 seconds to 2.4. 2.4 to 2, and then has gone to 1.75 now. So yeah, that has been changed. And also the range has stayed the same. But that's good. And we will test that on a... I guess an armored wouldn't be a bad idea with the explosion. But at the moment it is doing some good damage, but not enough. But level 2, the price has actually increased by 300 bucks. It originally was 500, but it's now 800, so yeah, that is 300 more. But the damage has been buffed. It originally was 6 damage. It's now 10. And then it goes from 10 to 12. And also the fire rate has also been changed. The fire rate's gone from 2 seconds to 1.75, so it is the same as level 1. Yeah. Okay. The explosion radius is also 5.25 now as well. But let's now test that on a armored, because it should be able to take care of it now. 12 damage isn't too bad. There we go. There it go. Just about took care of it. Now level 3 has changed quite a lot actually. They have increased the price slightly. It was originally 2,100. But it's now 2,325. So that is an extra $225. Which is alright. It's not too big of a change. But it is slightly increased. The damage though has increased. It went from 22 originally to now 25 damage, which isn't too bad. The fire rate originally was 1.7 but is now 1.5, and hidden detection is now enabled at level 3. It was originally disabled. And obviously a faster projectile and no aim time. Yeah, that was the same. But let's test this on 2 armored, because these can pierce through. Okay, that was quite good actually. I think I need to test this on something with hidden detection as well. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Let's quickly test this on the elite hazmat, because bearing in mind the explosion damage doesn't really do much to it. So yeah, That's what I expected. But if we do it against 2 of these Fallens, the damage is quite good actually. But finally, but not least, we have max level. So max level keeps its hidden detection, which is fine. The price has been decreased. It originally costed $6,500 and it now costs $5,750. So that is $1,250 cheaper, which is nice. But the damage has increased by a little bit. It originally did 47 damage, but it now does 50 damage. And then the explosive radius is now up to 6. But if we test that on the hazmat, will we be able to beat the hazmat this time? Barely. But the placement limit, it doesn't seem to have one. Let's just place about 8 of these as well. And editor can do his job.
Meanwhile,
and now that they are all max, we will test it on a boomer. The explosive damage is not too bad. It could be a lot better though. That isn't quite what we wanted. But if we spawn in a bunch of enemies, so example, and a good example would be breakers with the explosive radius. But oh yeah, they destroy. Okay, that's nice. That's it for soldier actually. That's actually it for soldier. Demoman. That's it for Demoman. But yeah, finally we do have soldier. So soldier has changed slightly level 0. It used to cost 350 to place down, but now costs 400, so that is an extra $50. But the only other change at level 0 is the burst cooldown. It has decreased by quite a bit. It was originally 0.85, but then it has decreased by to 0.55, so that is an extra 30 seconds quicker, which isn't too bad. But let's test that on 2 armored. Yeah, that's not bad. Level 1, the fire rate has increased slightly. The fire rate used to be 0.1 and it's now gone to, oh wait, sorry, no. The fire rate used to be 0.15, but it's now 0.1. And then it went to 0.1 to 0.125. So yeah, it has changed slightly. The burst cooldown has stayed the same though. So there's that. Let's test that on. Don't know if it can beat an armored yet, but we will soon find out. If it does, then it will barely be able to beat it, because I'm not too sure about soldier at the moment. But there it goes. We have been able to defeat it barely though. But there's level 1. Level 2 soldier now. The fire rate stays the same, that doesn't change. But yeah, the burst cooldown. stays the same as well. So it hasn't changed the cooldown. The pricing has stayed the same. And it still has intersect, so level 2 hasn't really changed too much. So let's just test that on a hidden enemy. We'll test that on the soul. And while that's doing the work, because it's about to defeat it, we'll go on to level 3 of soldier. So that has changed quite a lot. The price originally used to be $2,250. That has now decreased to $1,350. So that is an extra $900. So it has gone down by 900. So that is a huge change for the price. And the damage though has decreased. It originally was 4, now does 3 damage instead. The fire rate has also changed. It originally used to have a 0.1 fire rate, but has a 0.125, which we actually was talking about with level 1 and 2. So that's actually the same. But they have buffed the amount of burst count we have. We originally had 6, but we now have 8. And the burst cooldown also has been decreased. It was originally at 0.6 and is now at 0.4. So that's a really good change to soldier now. So we should be able to defeat 2 armored, I'll be honest with you. It doesn't have full auto, but it doesn't really need that at the moment. It's quite good how it is, in my opinion. But there's the level 3 of that. But finally but not least, it has gotten more expensive max level. It was originally costing 4,600, but it now costs 5,000, so that is 400 extra, unfortunately. But the fire rate has also stayed the same. That is at 0.125 seconds. But they have buffed the burst count. It's gone from 8 to now 12, which is not too bad. And the final thing on level 4 is the burst cooldown is still at 0.4. Okay, that's stuck the same. It also has flying detection, obviously. The range has stayed the same, and yeah, it does do more damage now. So let's now test this on. We'll test it on a hazmat, which, yeah, this soldier is actually taking care of it quite nicely. We'll I don't think the soldier has a placement limit. We'll just place another 8 of them, just so it's fair for all the other towers. And editor can do their thing. And we will test this on a boomer. And holy, that's a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage if you ask me. But yeah, I do believe that is all of them. But let's get them all here. Let's get them all placed down just here. But these are the starter towers of TDS. The rebalances. But guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to slap that like button. Also click that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos I post. And comment down below what you think of these starter rebalances for these towers. I personally think they're good. They're really good, honestly. But the amount of rebalances we're going to be having now is crazy. But yeah, other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.